ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my very first ever movie review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's right, I went and saw it last Friday, I've been giving some thoughts about it, and now I want to give you a review on what I thought about it. Now, being a kid that was around when the Power Rangers first started back in August of 93, I've been there since the very beginning. I was 10 years old when it first came out. I remember watching it being amazed by it, loving it. As cheesy as it was, I loved the original Power Rangers. I mean, to this day, I'll still go back from time to time and go watch it on Netflix just for the memories of it and all that. That being said, they came out with a new movie. At first, I was very leery about it when I saw the way they looked. I'm going to try to put an image of it right here. I'm still working on the editing skills, but the way they look now, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, so they're rip-offs of Iron Man. That's not the Power Rangers I remember. The uniforms at first, I didn't like the way they looked. I just did not like the armor. So I was put off. I didn't go into it thinking very much of it. Going into it, watching it, I realized they did a good job with it. They did more with it than what they did with the TV show. In the TV show, they hinted at very briefly hinted at the problem of them working together, that they had to become a team in order to succeed. In the movie, they actually went through and showed it. These were five teenagers. Some of them kind of knew each other, like they were in class with each other, but for the most part, they were not friends. Uh, I'm trying not to spoil anything with the movie because I know there's probably some people that haven't seen it, so I'm trying to keep it as spoiler free as possible. So I'm trying to keep that as little as possible. But for those who have seen it, know what I'm talking about. So the fact that they had to learn to, one, trust each other, two, become basically like a family because they depend on each other in order to be able to succeed. To the point where they cannot morph unless they connect with each other. Minor spoiler. So they have to try to get through all this, all with the obstacle of Rita Repulsa trying to separate them. Now that right there is a big chunk of the movie, is them trying to learn to bond. I mean, I'm talking all throughout maybe the last 20, 30 minutes of the movie is them trying to gel and figure out how to work together with some training and all that, which, you know, when you get your training, you're working hard, you're tired, you're not always the best in the best of moods afterwards, so you're not always gonna gel very well. But through all of it, it's very well done. Um, I really like the way it is. Um, like I said, I was not a big fan of their uniforms. And I'll go and show you what an image of the '93 uniform looks. I mean, when you go back and look at it, it's nothing more than a jumpsuit. So I guess they wanted to make it look like it was actual armor. I mean, that's just one of the few changes. I mean, I'm going to be comparing the '93 Power Rangers compared to this Power Rangers quite a bit back and forth. Short kind of contrast of it. Uh, I will say though that the who they got picked as Zordon, he did a masterful job. Bryan Cranston, better known as Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, or for those of you who haven't seen Breaking Bad, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle and all that. The dad in the new Godzilla movie. That's who they have as Zordon. He did a very good job. They have him as a different way. Instead of him being in like a little spherical orb that he's trapped in, he's like trapped in the wall. He's like a weird moving wall. So the way he's talking to the Power Rangers, if he wants to talk to individual Power Ranger, he'll literally zip around the room and talks to that Power Ranger, then zip back. It's really cool. It's like he's giving each one uh, individual presence, and in fact, they actually show him in his alien form at the beginning of the movie, which is pretty cool. Excuse me. Speaking of aliens, Alpha 5. In the 93 Alpha 5, he looks like a robot. And this one, he's more like a weird alien type thing. So he's not really a robot. He's kind of like an alien. It's the best way to describe him. Also, I'll have the images here. Um, they took him from being a robot to an alien, even though he did get that one line that everybody was hoping for. And the entire time he's talking, I'm going, say it, say it, say it, say it. Finally, at one point, he goes, "Aye, aye, aye." Even though it wasn't as good as the '93 one, it was just him hearing him saying it sparked something for me. Uh, so I mean, you got that. They did get a good dynamic there with the Alpha 5 and Zordon. Alpha 5 could have been a little bit more, because he always had that little bit of an attitude that you kind of liked. This one was kind of missing it, even though it was Alpha 5 teaching him through the training things. He actually went into the training room and showed some moves, which was pretty cool. Uh, then another thing that I'm not sure how I feel about. You got the Alpha 5, you got Zordon, who did a very good job on Zordon. You have the Zords. That's the second most important thing, if not the most important thing for the Power Rangers, are the Zords. Because that's how they defeated most of the bad guys. They got their Zords because they got big, and then they had to fight them. Well, in the original Power Rangers, you could tell what the Zords were supposed to be. You could tell that the pterodactyl, one was a triceratops, one was a mammoth, one was a T-Rex, one was a saber-tooth. In the new ones, the only ones you could really tell what they're supposed to be is the Tyrannosaurus and the pterodactyl. The others, they just had the colors. You really couldn't see what it is. I mean, I wish I could have found a good picture of all of them, but the only one I could find is a close-up of the Black Rangers. And it has like 8 legs, and it doesn't look anything like the Mastodon is supposed to be. And it's just like, okay. I mean, yeah, I get it's supposed to be more battle ready, but it was just that nostalgia of actually seeing the dinosaurs come to life and then fight together, then form the Zord. Yeah, the '93 one was just nothing but the toys, but still, it was seeing them. I don't know. For those of us that are old, I guess you understand, but for the new generation, that's probably not a big deal. And then we get to Rita Repulsa. At first, when I saw her, I'm like, "That's Rita. That's Rita." And then, as you actually see her doing it, she did a good job. I mean, you got the old Rita Repulsa, who was supposed to be a witch. She did nothing but stay in the background and make her monsters and throw them at the Power Rangers over and over and over again. This Rita used to be a Power Ranger. They go into the story about how she betrayed them. Sorry, spoilers. And she's actually a warrior. So she'll actually go in there and fight. She is actually tries manipulating them and all that. And it's actually really well done. So despite the way she looks, she did a very good job. Um, the so all in all, just by those right there, I'd say it was a good movie. Now, what really caught my eye was Billy. Yes, Billy the Blue Ranger. Yes, he was a smart kid. It took it a step further in this one. Something that struck home. In this one, he is an autistic spectrum teenager. Being in the fact that I have family members that are autistic spectrum, and I have friends with kids that are autistic and all that, seeing that an autistic kid can be a superhero is something that really needs to be shown. The fact that just because you're a little different from everybody else does not mean you can't be the superhero out there fighting. Sorry, I got people messaging me on Facebook. Ah, but seeing that and being the fact that he plays a major role for the Power Rangers, it is because of him that they are able to mesh together and come together and fight as one unit, and it's because of him that basically allows them to become Power Rangers. And it's the autistic kid that does that. That that right there speaks volumes, and I really appreciate that. I really do. So overall, if I'd have to rate this from, I'll say 1 out of 10, I'd give the new Power Rangers probably 7.5, 8. There were some things, like I said, I went over, I really didn't like. Seeing the new Power Ranger, the new armor, it did grow on me. I see the purpose of it, but the fact that it did kind of look like Iron Man's armor, I thought they're just ripping it off. So, and then I understand why they did what they did with the Zords, but it just didn't do it. Another big thing that I just kind of remembered, at the very end of the movie, there's a cameo, or I should say 2 cameos. Those of you that grew up watching the Power Rangers will recognize it. Those who didn't may not recognize who they are, so it was more for us adults. But still, seeing the cameo, it was great to see. So, I say go out there, watch it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. Hope this. And if you like me doing the movie reviews, let me know. I've never done a movie review before. I don't watch as many movies as I used to. Just don't have the money. But I do try to get out to the movies a couple times throughout the year. So if you like this, I will try to keep doing this. So let me know in the comments down below. Go ahead and also, if you'd like to give this video a like, let me know I'm doing a good job. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, I'm silent but always deadly. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day. Bye.